Hi everybody, and welcome to Cooking with Francois. Today we are going to be making something that's going to come in handy with this cool weather that we're getting ready to have. So today we're going to make chicken corn chowder. And the first step in the chicken corn chowder is to turn to saute on our pressure cooker. And we put in about a tablespoon or so of olive oil. You know I don't measure that. And then we're going to put in 6 slices of bacon. So, putting that in, we're going to brown this up good until it's nice and crispy. And while that is cooking, I'm going to be cutting up some potatoes, carrots, garlic, a red pepper, and some onion to get ready for the rest of our dish. So, I will be back once the bacon is finished and I've chopped up everything. So, I'll see you in a few. Alright, the bacon has cooked nice and crispy, and I don't understand why, but I'm doing as the recipe says. I've taken the bacon grease out, and now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And once that butter gets nice and melted, and we're not worried about any bits that were left in here of the bacon, because we're going to be deglazing this in a moment anyway. So, we put the butter in here, and now we're going to put our aromatics, which are our onion and our garlic. And that is going to saute in the pot in the butter. While that is going on, I am going to be chopping up our chicken. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. Personally, I would have used half chicken breast and half chicken thighs, but that's me. I prefer the chicken thigh because I think it just has a better flavor. So, I'm going to stir this, let it simmer down, and cut up the chicken, and I'll be right back. Alright, the onions have cooked in the butter and they're nice and translucent. Now we are going to add our 2½ cups of chicken into the onions and the garlic. And we're going to cook all of that together until the chicken is nice and brown. So, once again, I'll be back, and while you're gone, I'm going to be peeling potatoes. Alright, the chicken is nice and translucent. You don't want to brown it too much, even though I said brown earlier. Now we're going to add our red pepper and our carrots and give that a quick stir. Next, we are going to be putting our chicken stock in, and that will deglaze the pan. So, 2 cups of chicken stock. 1, 2. All right, got the chicken stock in there. Now we're going to stir it around and get all those good bits that might have stuck to the bottom off the bottom, so they will add their wonderful flavors to this chowder. Once we do that, we're going to put our 2½ cups of diced Yukon Gold potatoes into the pot. If I don't whoops at least once every time, y'all think I'm doing it right. All right, gonna give that a big old stir. There we go. And I'll be right back. All right. When you add the potatoes, you also add your whole kernel corn. It says to add a can, but I prefer the frozen whole kernel, so that's what I'm using, of whole kernel. I am using a can of cream-style corn. Give that a stir in a moment, but we've got to put in our spices. We're going to put in 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, and we're going to put in 1½ teaspoons of black pepper, we're going to add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and last but not least, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce, whatever you want to call it. And now we're going to give all of this a stir. We turn off the saute. And now we're going to put in just about 3 or 4 pieces of our crispy bacon. Before we put the lid on and pressure cook on high for 5 minutes. So we'll be back after it's finished cooking. All right. It just went off. We do a quick release. There we go. And once it is finished doing the release, we'll be back to finish off the last few things that we need to do to finish up our wonderful chicken corn chowder. All right, we've done our quick release. We're now going to open it. Give it a big stir, and we're going to add a cup of milk, a cup of heavy cream, a half a cup of cheddar cheese, and last but not least, we're going to take 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and add 3 tablespoons of water to it to make our slurry. Whoopsie. We are now going to put it on saute and cook it until it thickens up. So, I'll be back in a few. All right, once it gets to the thickness you want, and remember you need to stir it, you don't want to scorch it, you basically have an option of taking part of it out and blending it, or using an immersion blender until it's the way you want. Personally, being a country cook at heart, I sort of like things chunky. I have gotten me some here in this cup. I have crumbled up a little bit of bacon on top. And now I'm going to try it. Let's see what happens. Turned out great. So, try this chicken corn chowder at home. And remember, let's dig in.